Welcome in to Stands Bounds, the sports podcast of the people. I'm your host, Kari P, here alongside K-Wall and Howard. How y'all doing?
What's
Good,
good?
good, good.
Yo, we are 18 hours away from the Super Bowl, the biggest game of the year. How y'all feeling?
I don't know. I'm pretty excited. I think I'm pretty sure the Rams have got it. I don't know. We'll talk more about that later, but it's a good game. It's two teams we haven't seen. Well, the Rams we saw a little bit ago, but the Bengals, like it's a good underdog team. It's a good story. I don't think it's gonna be the best Super Bowl, but it'll be fun.
What about you,
I think this
K-Wall?
is a Super Bowl. I think this is a Super Bowl for the people. There's no Tom involved and there's no Pat Mahomes. You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna give you a different perspective. You're gonna see Matt Stafford, go up against Joey B. You're gonna see different people out there instead of the same dudes, Tom Brady, Gronk, and then Pat and Tyreek and Kelsey. So I think it'll be good. Like you said, I don't know if it'll be like as great because I feel like it'll either be close or it's gonna be a landslide. So
Yo, I like that. The Super Bowl of the people, and we are the sports podcast of the people. So let's talk
hey,
about it.
Hey,
All right, let me ask y'all. Do y'all think that this moment is too big for Joe in Cincinnati?
I answered first last time, but
Hey, yo, all right. Well, I guess we're not going to speak again. So,
I guess because he answered first, he just ain't gonna say nothing the rest of the show.
no.
all righty
We were
then.
supposed to flip flop.
Nah, go ahead. What are you thinking?
I didn't think the first thing you brought up. I thought that was like an introduction into the show. I didn't think that was the first question. Anyway, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. I messed it up. I take that. K-Wall messed it up. I messed it up. We had a whole game plan before the show started. Okay, so do I think the moment is too big for Joey B? I think every game he's played leading up to the Super Bowl you could have asked that same question, and he's delivered every single time. Now, mind you, this is a totally different ballgame. For one, it's not even neutral ground. I mean, they could say it's neutral ground because it's a Super Bowl, but it's in LA. It's down the
Cincinnati,
street
the
for
home
all
team.
the. Huh?
Cincinnati, the home team.
I feel the same way. I feel like this is a road game for the Rams, but hey, it's at SoFi. Cool. You know what I'm saying? Outside of probably Pat Mahomes, I feel like Joey B embraces of AFC quarterbacks like Pat Mahomes, Josh Allen. You know what I'm saying? I think Joey B embraces these kind of moments. I think he loves these kind of moments. The kind of players that love the big lights and they love to showcase it. I think that he embraces it. You know what I'm saying? So there might be a adjustment period when the game starts with the nerves, and everything like that. I mean, that's for everybody. There's a lot of guys on both sides of the ball. This is their first Super Bowl. So there's gonna be a lot of nerves and stuff. But I think once he gets in the flow and he gets going, what I'm saying? He's gonna want, even if they're not gonna win, he's gonna want to put on a show, the best product he can. And that's what he is. He's a performer. That's what I like about him. He's like the Pat Mahomes, the Tom Brady's, Josh Allen now, Kyler Murray for the first 7 games of every season. They're all performers, They put on shows. Okay, Howard. Now
So I don't think the moment's too big for Joe because he's been in big moments. He's won in big moments. I just don't think his team is good enough to possibly good enough to get over the hump. I don't think he'll be the problem. You know what I mean? I think he's ready for the moment. The team they're playing, man, that's a squad. That was put
watch
together.
out for Eli Apple, man. Watch out for Eli Apple.
Yeah. I mean, that team was really put together for this and next year. So I don't know. The moment's not too big for him. I just don't know if his team has enough to make it through.
The crazy thing about it? They're not the crazy thing is they're really not supposed to be here. So I like something that you said, okay, well, it's just a situation where they're really not supposed to be here. We're supposed to have either Baltimore here. We're supposed to even Cleveland. Because coming into the season, all they talked about was Cleveland defense. Hey, if Baker can just do what he got to do, they'll definitely win the North. So it's the crazy thing that they're here, that they're really not supposed to be here.
True. And I feel like that's what makes them kind of dangerous. If you look at it from a different light, they already know they're not supposed to be here. And they probably feel as though they're not going to win. So they're going to come out there and like they did against the Chiefs. Nobody had them winning that game. They wouldn't even have them getting that far. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, when you get a team that has nothing to lose and you play the level of competition, they can be dangerous. Now the Rams have a lot, like a shitload on the line. So I don't think they come out there and play the level of competition. I think they go out there and play for the kill. But if they do, this is the perfect storm for them to make this game interesting. Because the Bengals can put up numbers. If you give them the opportunity, they can put up scores in a hurry. And if that defense gets they get an emotion, you know what I'm saying? They could make your life hell, like they did for Pat Mahomes.
So let me ask you this, right? Let's say Joe Shiesty pulls this off. Is this a bigger upset than, let's say, 2008? And we could throw in 2011 when the Giants beat the Pats both times. Would this be a bigger upset than them?
Absolutely not. Not even close. I mean, you're talking about the greatest team assembled. Like that 08 Pats team was the greatest team. And an 8-8 wild card came in and beat them. I mean, it's an upset, but it's not like that big of an upset. Like that's still looking back at it, like that didn't happen, did it? You know what I mean? Like, so not that big, but it is a big upset. It's up there. I think Seattle beating Denver the way they did was another upset, but I think it beats that one, but not the greatest upset.
I think it's more of like a Cinderella story. You know what I'm saying? I think they would make a movie about something like this, like the underdog kind of thing. But like Howard said, I don't think it even scratches the surface of that 08 game. I mean, you've got, like he said, you got the greatest team assembled led by Tom Brady going up against Eli, and the amount of like ridiculous circus, the helmet, like everything that happened in that game that cemented it in history as like an iconic game. I don't think it comes close to that. We don't know because it hasn't been played yet, but I don't think there's as much on the line as there is. I don't think there's as much on the line for both teams, per se, as there was back then, Brady versus Eli, because I feel like the Rams, it's kind of like the Rams have a lot to lose. The Bengals have already overachieved. They go home, they go to the Super Bowl and lose right there. The fans are content because they didn't think they were even going to get to the playoffs at one point.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me ask you this, right? Of these two teams, of Cincinnati and the Giants, who had the better defense? Back then, the Giants back then.
Who had the better what?
Who had the better defense?
Better defense?
Yeah.
The Giants.
The Giants, definitely, because they
100%.
had Omenura, Strahan, Justin Tuck.
So
and their secondary was okay back then too.
I'd say their defensive line was better because the Patriots had a really good defense, but their defensive line wasn't as dominant as those four for the Giants. That was a big problem, was that defensive line, not the. I mean,
with that Giants team, right? Their offensive line wasn't nothing special, but I feel like Joe would take that offensive line than the one he got right now.
Yeah, no, that's facts. That's facts.
Yeah, facts. It's like the worst matchup possible to have a shaky O line in a game where everyone's just giving it all because you got big number 99 across from you. I don't know, he's having nightmares about that right now. Like, I already got a shaky line. I can scoot, but I can't. He can scoot, but he can't scoot that fast. When Aaron Donald is going downhill, and Aaron Donald is going to want to put them paws on him. You know what I'm saying? As early as possible.
So that's the thing. Like, I feel like that Giants team was better than this Cincinnati team. They didn't have as many explosive pieces as this Cincinnati team. They have a Joe Burrow or a Jamar Chase, but that Giants team was better than this team. In my eyes.
They had the running back.
Yeah. So when I'm saying that is, I'm saying like this game right here tomorrow is supposed to be a blowout in everybody's eyes. I don't think nobody really has Cincinnati winning this game. Unless you're just trying to take the odds, and if they win, I can come away with a big payday. But other than that,
Mattress Matt got $4.5 million on him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mattress Matt got 4.5 on him.
Yeah, so I don't know. To me, it could be a bigger upset because this is like I continue to say, this is a team that wasn't supposed to be here. There's no reason this team should be here. If you ask anybody, the Bills should have been here over them starting the season off. The Chiefs should have been here over them. Baltimore should have been here over them. There's no reason this Bengals team should be here, but they are here. So with that, let me ask y'all this. Do you think Joe Burrow can still win in spite of that offensive line?
No, no. It's been nice that it's held together for this long, but you have two future Hall of Famers that are sitting across the line, and one of them happens to be the most dominant defensive lineman in the league to date. And the other one, I mean, he still looks good. He still has, Von Miller, he's still got some in the tank. I'm sure he's going to find whatever he has to for this last game, because if he wins a ring, he's retiring, no doubt. So yeah, I think it's too much this time. Like, he'll keep it close. I think it'll be closer than people expect, but you can't defend against that.
About you, K-Wall?
Yeah, I mean, like Howard touched on. I mean, you got Aaron Donald, the probably most dominant defensive interior lineman in the entire league, probably the best defensive player in the entire league, pound for pound. And you have a shaky offensive line. You got Leonard Floyd on one side, who just feasts off the double teams that Donald creates, and then you got Von Miller, who's been in the Super Bowl before. He may not be the same player he was, but he's a vet. Then you got Jalen Ramsey, man, in the secondary. So I mean, yeah, they've got the names on the back of the jerseys, and they've this far have, they almost blew it in Tampa Bay, but so long as this far they've played as a good unit together. I think where they win this game is going to be on the line. You know what I'm saying? I think this game will come down to who can win the line, the offensive line, defensive line battle for both sides, and who can make adjustments.
So I think this is what I'm going to say, right? I think he can win in spite of his offensive line. Because the thing about this, it's not like we got Eli back there, Eli Manning, who gets shaken after getting hit a couple of times. Joe Burrow is unfazed by taking sacks. So when you got a guy like this, he'll take a sack and still stand in that pocket, that's a different beast. I mean, yes, he's probably going to get sacked probably 10 times a month. It's no question. It's no, debating it's just how many. If he's going to get sacked, that's not a question. How many times he going to get sacked? Now, that's the question.
Yeah.
But he's not fazed by being sacked. It's not like he gets shaken up when he gets sacked. So when that happening, I think, he got playmakers on his team. So the biggest thing to me is I think Joe Mixon got to get going early. If Joe Mixon get going early and they can work a little bit of play action to give him a couple of seconds in order to make the extra, I think that will work.
True.
So, all right. So let's kind of flip to that other side of this question, right? If the Rams win the Super Bowl, will this defense go down as one of the best defenses of all time?
That has yet to be seen. It'll be brung up in discussions maybe years from now. I think this cements Aaron Donald's legacy as one of the greatest of all time, for sure. That's the one thing he's missing is a chip, that separates him from the greats that have done it before him. I think this for defensive purposes wise, it cements Jalen and Von Miller's legacies more so than the defense as a whole. But it'll be talked about years from now. Oh, that 2021, 2022 Rams squad, that defense was insane. It'll be talked about. I don't know if it'll go down as the greatest of all time, like numero uno, but it has a way to creep up there, possibly.
I don't think so. I think it'd be known as one of the on paper best teams, one of the best teams assembled, just on paper, like stats alone from offense to defense, pretty good. But I mean, you got to think about the Seahawks when they won. That defense was nasty. The Steel Curtain, the Ravens with Ray Lewis. And those are they won. Who was that quarterback? The dude, the analyst for the Ravens when they won. Trent Dilfer won a Super Bowl with that Ravens team. That's how good that defense was. So
I mean, dude, but they had first ballot Hall of Famers. They had Ed Reed, Ray Lewis.
Yeah, but that's
the thing is, that's what I'm saying. The thing is, it has yet to be seen because Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey could do the same thing, and then we'll be referring to this 10, 15 years from now, Matt Stafford won a Super Bowl with Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey. You know what I'm saying? It depends on if they go out there and they put on a dominant performance in the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? They hold them to 10 points, 13 points, and they roll them. Then that'll help their case. But if it's a shootout, but individual superstars have good games, like Donald has 2-3 sacks, then I think it cements his legacy with the chip as far as the defense as a whole.
Let me get messy real quick. So Howard, right? The whole year we saw number one across the board for the Bills defense.
Yeah, I don't want to
Do you think that was a mistake? Do you think this Rams defense is actually better than the Bills defense?
That's tough because, like, really, we had one like glaringly bad game and it happened to everyone. Everyone in the world watched it, so that's what hurts.
Oh,
probably
you're not referring to Jacksonville, are you?
No, we held them to 9 points,
and they held y'all to 6.
Yeah, no, defensively, that was not the problem that game. I mean, you can't ask for much. I'm talking about the game against Pat Mahomes. We all know what game I'm talking about. But anyways, I think you have to give it to him, right? Because the superstars, they're in the Super Bowl, we're not. Like, there's not much we can. We had 13 seconds to win a game. Like, in the defense, like, we can't be considered the best defense in the league with that. Like, I'm so salty. So yeah, no, the Rams are better. All right, is that what you want to hear? God,
I think y'all, as far as team chemistry on defense, y'all had really great team chemistry. You know what I'm saying? Y'all overachieved a little bit throughout the year due to that chemistry. But I mean, like we always talk about, superstars elevate teams. You know what I'm saying? Y'all don't have very many superstars on defense, and the one that you do have was out. You know, so I don't think that would have made a difference against Kansas City. But
oh yeah.
He can't. I don't think he would have been able to keep up with Tyreek, but that's a cover for another day.
Here we go.
I want to have a prediction, right? Jalen Ramsey, the best cornerback in the league, right? He's probably going to travel with Jamar Chase tomorrow. I want y'all to predict Jamar Chase's line tomorrow.
Right now, all right, I'm going to go for 6 for 74.
Yeah.
And like 10 to 15 yards rushing.
Yeah, I said the same thing. I think he sneak about 6 catches for about like 70 or so. He might squeeze a tutty, but it had to be like a break, because you saw Jalen Ramsey. He's been burnt before. You know what I'm saying? He's been burnt by bums. He's been burnt by stars before. So if he gets too overaggressive with Jamar Chase could burn him. You know, and Joey B, if he has the time to hit him on that route, he's gone. They're not going to catch him the back end. That's speculative, but realistically, I think like 6 for 70, possibly a touchdown, but he'll get some rushing yards too. But I feel like Zach Taylor would be doing his offense a disservice, along with the offensive coordinator, if they didn't scheme ways to get Jalen Ramsey off of Jamar Chase.
I mean,
so do y'all see a big game from like one of them other 2 receivers, Boyd or Higgins?
Yes, T. Higgins. That's the man. I mean, he's always been the man when Jamar goes down or he has a bad game. That's the other man we're looking at. It's T. Higgins and also Joe Mixon. I think people forget how good of a pass catcher he is, and they do run those screens. Those screens, and they kill someone every game with it for like 30 yards.
And I think I'm glad you bring that up, because I think that's where they could exploit something. So if the Rams are dialing up the rush and they start killing them with those screens, you know what I'm saying? That whole front line is already in the backfield, but everyone's moving that way. So that might be one thing. And like you said, T. Higgins, I think he could have a big game, because Rams' number 2 corner is only 5'10". T. Higgins is 6'4".
That's another reason I don't think that Jalen's really going to line up on Jamar. I think it's kind of just a thing for the media, but when we watch it, they're just going to bracket or have the safety cover over Jamar on the number 2. And let Jalen take T. Higgins out. Like, that's what I feel like you should do. The smart play.
Okay, so let's go to the other side of the ball. Let's predict Cooper Kupp's line.
I'm gonna go. I just think he's gonna get 9 catches for like 82 yards, something like cheap or chintzy, but he's gonna have a touchdown. Yeah, I don't think he's gonna get all the underneath stuff today. I don't think they're gonna let him break. Yeah, I think the deep throw is gonna be to Vaughn and Odell.
Did you just say Cooper Kupp is only gonna get 82 yards?
Yeah, but I got him getting a touchdown.
Yeah, well, what you think, man?
I don't think the Bengals possess the personnel to, completely take Cooper Kupp out the game. But I think 82 yards 80 to 90 is on the higher side. I feel like OBJ could possibly have a big game. I don't think he racks up the yards, but I think he gets the tutties, and I think he has the more explosive plays. You know, but Cooper Kupp's going to be the safety valve the entire. I mean, he's just checked on. No matter where they line him up, I mean, if they want him to get the ball, he's going to get it. That's how good this dude is.
So you're willing to go on the sports line saying that if you had to go to a line, right, and you're betting that Cooper Kupp will get less than 100 yards.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of like setting your money on fire the way he's been playing. But, I mean, it's not the most outlandish thing because it's the Super Bowl. But, like I said, it's kind of like putting your money in a shredder. So, I don't know. I would just pick another one. There's so many different things to bet on. You could bet on you could bet on like I saw this thing where you could bet on who they talk to first, what they talk about first. Is it God, their family, the organization? Like, I just pick something like that, or pick the coin toss. Like, don't put your money in harm's way with that one, because the dude, you get 100 with his eyes closed. That's like a minimum. For him this year. That's like oh man, he had a kind of a slow game. He only got like 103 yards. You know.
So let me ask you, what would the Super Bowl win mean to OBJ? And if they win, do OBJ come back next year? And if he don't come back, where do we go?
When it means to OBJ, I think it just like revitalizes his stance as a superstar receiver. Because in Cleveland, people forgot how good he was and how smart of a football player he was. And now he's getting to put it on display in the biggest game he's ever played in, ever. And if they win, does he come back to the Rams? He's already came out and said he wants to stay with them, win or loss. So I think for sure he comes back. Where else is he going to go? Well, so I mean, you've made your money. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're definitely not going back to Cleveland.
Definitely. You know what I'm saying? But he in line for a big contract. Like, all that better give him like maybe 5
And that's what I'm saying. Like he'll say that now. Oh, I'm coming back to the Rams. And if they can only sign him for like 2-3 M's, I don't know. And if Miami comes calling, like, hey, we got 18 M's with your name on it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
so this probably won't happen. But let me ask you this, right? If you're the Chargers, would you let a Mike Williams go for OBJ?
I don't think so. I think you can get Mike Williams cheaper. He's taller and I don't think Odell's worth 18. I think he'll be worth like 15. He's going to get overpaid if he leaves, right? So take the cheaper route. He's younger. You'll get a few more years out of him. I mean, I think he's underrated. I think he's underrated.
I mean, it'd be interesting. To me, it gives you an option, right? Because now you can still have your possession receiver in Keenan, and then you can have OBJ running up the line. I mean, yes, Mike Williams is bigger, but Mike Williams don't produce. Like, it's like he'll produce for like 5 games, 6 games.
Yeah, he like Houdini.
And then it's just like, I don't know. So it's interesting to me. I would consider it. Like, it'd be something I'd definitely consider if I was the Chargers. Another team I might look at. What about you think OBJ? How you think he'll fit in Oakland?
Oh, he walks in day one. They're their best receiver. No knock to Hunter Renfrow, but he's definitely their best explosive receiver. That's an interesting situation because I feel like they have a decent enough team to compete. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's the one thing they're lacking is like a explosive receiver. Because I mean, Hunter Renfrow will get you 8-9 yards a catch or like that, get you down the field, but you need that game changer. And he looks like he has a lot of football left to play. So for the right price, because we all know how we feel on this podcast about Darren Waller. So
definitely. So all right. So y'all think OBJ stays?
For the right price, I think he does.
All right. Nah, you think he all right. So let me ask y'all this. Does the Super Bowl win make Matthew Stafford a Hall of Famer?
Yes. I think it does, right? His numbers in Detroit, the whole thing about it was, he has all these great numbers, but they're not winning anything. So he can't be that good if he can't make a team win, right? So he has pretty good numbers, pretty good top tier numbers here, and he's in the Super Bowl. So now all the haters about him in his Detroit can legitimately say like, no, he was a good quarterback then. The Detroit Lions were just that bad, So it legitimizes his years in Detroit, and I mean he really is balled out this year, and he gets his ring. I mean, there's not. I think that's like the final criteria for like really good quarterbacks is like you get your ring, you're in.
But my thing is, does it truly legitimize his failures in Detroit, or do it just show that he needs the perfect team in order to win? Like it's not a situation where you have a Brady that's propelling a team. Like your best receiver is Amendola. Like that's like Edelman. I mean, like that's not. It's a difference in.
I feel like it's kind of like a touchy situation because in Detroit, he didn't really. Obviously, he was their best offensive option minus Calvin Johnson. But when Calvin Johnson left, it was kind of like he puts up stats, but it doesn't get the team wins. I feel like in the Rams, when he plays for the Rams, they have every component and every formula to win, minus the quarterback until he showed up. He was the last piece of the equation. So yes, he gets all the accolades, and yes, he gets all the scrutiny as well when they lose because he's the quarterback. But I feel like there's a lot of more pieces to the pie in Los Angeles that allows him to be in this position than there were in Detroit. But that said, like I said, the stats that he put up in Detroit with the Super Bowl championship, a Super Bowl MVP possibly if he goes out there and cooks, he'll have a case to be in Canton, Ohio. I don't think he'll be a first ballot Hall of Famer, but I mean, he has like maybe 4 more years of being at this level before he starts, winding down a little bit, maybe even less than that. So if he pads the stats for another 2-3 seasons, then yeah, eventually they'll let him in.
He'll probably make it. If he wins the Super Bowl, he'll probably make it.
Yeah,
but as far as him, like Jared Goff took this team to the Super Bowl before. You know what I mean? He didn't get it done. Yes,
and that's what I'm saying. Like it's like the kind of roster that they build here. It's like all they need is someone above averagely competent to run the show at quarterback, and that's the minimum of where they can go is the Super Bowl.
Yeah, definitely. So that's where he'll make all
because Matt still, even within all their greatness and getting to the Super Bowl, Matt still led the league in interceptions.
Yeah,
he is who he is. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know who you are. Like, he is who he is.
But you have to also think like to that thing though, like what did Matt Stafford have to do to get this team there, right? That play in Tampa, like that was all Matty. Like I know it was your bad.
He dropped it on a dime. He dropped it on a dime to him.
That, like the throws he had to get to here, like this shows like, nah, this is the dude. He belongs to be in that consideration with those people. That's what I think. I don't know.
Where Matthew Stafford at as far as like quarterback? Is he a top 10 quarterback?
Yeah, most definitely. Yes.
So, all right, we're at in that top 10.
He's in the bottom. I
don't know.
Pat.
He's in the bottom of it.
Huh?
He's in the bottom. He's like 8, 9.
Yeah, I was gonna say like 8, 9, 10.
Is he better?
He might be 10.
Is he better than Joe Burrow?
I mean,
Joe Burrow, you got to put Joey B in there too. So I think they could be like.
Let's try to name this. So we got.
All right, so we got Pat Mahomes number 1.
Aaron Rodgers.
Yep.
Josh
Allen. Tom. If we're going off this season, we go Tom.
Yeah.
Josh Allen.
Yeah.
A lot of guys flamed out at the end, so I don't even know.
So where it gets hard is going forward. I'm taking Lamar over Matthew Stafford. I'm taking Joe Burrow over Matthew Stafford.
We're forgetting Dak too.
Taking the Dak over Matthew Stafford.
What about a healthy Deshaun?
A healthy Deshaun.
He's not getting put that out. He's not.
And actually, it's not that he's not healthy.
Yeah. Well, we're
you know
not
what I'm saying? No legal trouble with Deshaun. Right?
Truthfully, okay, Kyler fucked up at the end, but I'm still taking Kyler over Matthew Stafford.
Okay. After what's come out, like
I don't know. Not even about the whole like what everything's coming out or like that. Kyler is the more dynamic player, but I feel like as far as like pocket presence and pocket fluidity,
True.
Working in the pocket, I'd take Matthew Stafford. If I need to go out there and win the game passing, I'd sub Matthew Stafford in for Kyler because he gets flustered when he gets hit. And when they start swarming on him all right that, he tries to make something out of nothing. And that's when the incompletions and the turnovers come from. So I think it goes, like we said, it goes Pat, Aaron Rodgers, Tom, when he was playing, Josh Allen, Lamar, Joey B.
Dak.
I don't know. I'm thinking about Herbert before Dak.
Okay, Herbert.
Herbert, Dak. We can't add Deshaun Watson. He didn't play. And then we could go Stafford, Kyler. Kyler's probably number 10. They could flip-flop, though. Because Matt's been consistent the whole season. You know what I'm saying? True. He's had his woes, but he's been consistent. Kyler is the greatest thing since sliced bread for the first 7 games. If the season was 7 games, we would already have like 3 rings already. So it's like I'm taking all that into account as well.
So truthfully, right? What about Matthew Stafford really makes him better than Kirk Cousins, other than the arm talent?
That's pretty big.
That is a good question. I think his players make him look better.
Like yes, Kirk Cousins don't got the strongest of arms like a Matthew Stafford, but Kirk Cousins can get the job done.
I mean, it limits the routes that his receivers like Justin Jefferson. Yeah. If Justin Jefferson was with Matt Stafford, like no offense.
Oh my God.
But the numbers would be ridiculous. Like
the numbers would be stupid. Even if he had Thielen would probably score 20 TDs. As good as he is in the red zone. Like
I'm telling you.
But the thing is, Justin Jefferson numbers are ridiculous for his first 2 years with Kirk Cousins.
Look at that yak though. Look at that yak. Look at that yak a little bit. That play action with Dalvin right that yak across the middle and him taking up the field. But I know it counts as like an 80-yard pass, but when the dude's
20
running 60 of them, that's kind of Jamar Chase.
But that's the receiver that he is. What about Cooper Kupp is the exact same way?
Okay, I'm gonna ask you.
But I mean, there's a lot more air yards underneath those passes with Cooper Kupp. Then that bomb he caught in Tampa Bay, you was just talking about, that was all arm talent. On a moon ball. That was a Russell Wilson moon ball to perfection on a dime, right in the pocket.
What? So okay.
Cooper Kupp caught it and took it in. But what got him all the way down there was that ball being in the air for as long so he could separate from that defender and catch it in space and be gone.
Another one that he didn't really get the chance to play. His team was horrible. Russell Wilson. I'll take Russell Wilson over.
Over Kirk, definitely.
No, I'll take him over Matt Stafford going forward.
See, this is
he
tough.
Had a bad
this
season,
is tough.
This is tough. Most of it.
This is tough because Russ is a winner. As far as like just. If I need a QB to bring a team out the shambles, like Russ is a winner and he's a leader too. So it's like, and the thing is they hinder him there. So it's like he can't even showcase his talent now. They make it seem like he's lost a step or something like that, and they just want to run the ball, but they ain't even good at running the ball. So it's like,
so you're talking about a team hindering him, right? Like Matt Stafford in Detroit, and like this is what happens when good quarterbacks are on bad teams. Like they don't do like their wins.
Let's be honest. Season wise, I might consider a Derek Carr. Like this season, I would consider a Derek Carr, maybe.
It takes a special coordinator to make him look the way they look this year. Their offensive coordinator needs a lot of clout because he made him look good with a lot of these trick plays that ended in winning games and stuff. Don't get me wrong. Derek Carr, top 3. I'm taking Derek Carr, top 3 quarterback when it comes to 2-minute drills. I've never seen him not get down there and at least put their team in a position to win. He top 3. I don't care what nobody says because he's done it time and time after again. I'll probably take Pat and Tom and Derek Carr as far as 2-minute drills. He nasty with that. The other 48 minutes.
Yeah.
He has some he do some questionable stuff. But even the guys we're talking about, Stafford do some questionable stuff. Kirk do some questionable stuff. Dak does a lot of questionable stuff. A lot of sus stuff too. You know what I'm saying? Like
but
all right, so let's re-rank it again. Okay. Just off of pure talent alone, not what they did last season or what we think, right? I'm saying Pat,
Rodgers,
Brady, Josh Allen, Lamar,
Yeah.
Herbert, Burrow, Russ. And then it's like it's a three-way tie for the last two spots between Dak, Staff, and Kyler.
I mean,
I think Kirk Cousins is definitely a top 15 quarterback. I can't put him in I don't think he's a top 10. I think Kyler, Dak, and Stafford have an argument for top 10.
I feel like Matthew Stafford is truthfully a quarterback pushing the top 10, like that 12, 11. I feel like that's where Matthew Stafford is. He's a guy pushing that top. Like, all the talent is there. He's finally getting to a Super Bowl, which is solidifying him where the top quarterbacks normally are. But is he a top 10 quarterback?
He's an all-star game reserve. That's what he is. He's an all-star game reserve.
I'm not.
He'll never be in the starting lineup, but he's a reserve.
Like, there's just a lot of guys. Like, if I'm over a franchise, right? If I'm in the GM as a Carolina Panther, right, and I get to choose who's gonna be our next quarterback, there's a lot of guys I'm gonna look at before I look at Matthew Stafford.
yeah, because of his age too. Like, if you're a GM, you're not loving his age.
I will take Aaron Rodgers for the next 2 years.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
Yeah, but that's not fair though. That's not fair because Rodgers he's in a league of his own. He's in that league with Tom Brady and Pat. Yeah.
Yeah, like
Rodgers' arm talent is unmatched. Maybe Pat could challenge him down the road, but Rodgers is on a different level with that.
Boy's nasty.
I don't know, man. Well, I guess we'll revisit this conversation later on. So let's talk about Jamar Chase, right? Let's say the Bengals win the Super Bowl. Going in next year, do you think Jamar Chase will be the best wide receiver in the league, or at least the top 3?
So are we talking fantasy or just numbers wise?
Let's just talk league, because fantasy, of course, that's going to be a guy that you want. But let's just talk league.
Do I think he'll be number one in one of the categories?
All right. Let's take Devontae out. Devontae is where it gets hard. So
yeah,
let's take.
That's
Devontae
what I'm saying.
We don't know whose quarterback's gonna be thrown to Devontae next year. You know what I'm saying?
It don't matter. That boy's.
I mean, it do matter.
He's not gonna go nowhere with not a like. They're gonna have a decent. You know what I mean? Like, he's not gonna play with freaking
Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, he's like, no, I'm not going there. He's gonna play with a
Devontae in that category that Julio's in a lot of years. Like, he's just big.
He's just a shoe-in. Devontae. All right, so let's just subtract the usuals. Devontae, DeAndre are shoe-ins for that top spot. Let's make it interesting and talk about everybody besides those two.
So do you not think that Jamar Chase can overtake a DeAndre Hopkins?
It depends if he plays. I mean, like,
yeah, it depends on how serious his MCL injury is. And it depends on, because you saw this year they used him more as a decoy, but his impact on the field outweighed his production on the field. So if we're talking about strictly production, because Jamar Chase is their offense and it runs through him most times, most games over like that, and he's such a game breaker, I think Jamar Chase will have a better season on paper, but I think D-Hop's impact and his value to his team could outweigh Jamar Chase, because we've seen without Jamar Chase being out there, they still find ways to win games, whether it be the running game, through T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd has little pop-up games, even Uzoma, you know.
The thing I feel like wide receivers that are dynamic and just speed and that can get a lot of yak. I feel like these type of wide receivers don't get the type of respect that a possession receiver gets. Like, I feel like, all right, Tyreek, he gets his respect, but he'll never be a D-Hop or Devontae Adams. So do you feel like that factors into it?
It's because I think it's because like these dudes, D-Hop and Devontae Adams, their catch radius is like unlimited. You know, there's guys that are like high point target kind of receivers like Mike Evans and Julio for the longest part of his career. You put it up there, he's gonna go grab it. Those guys can do it all. You put it in a tight space, he's gonna grab it. You put it baseline, he's gonna grab it. You put it in the back of the end zone, he's gonna get it. You put it up there, down. Like, those kind of guys have no limit to their catch radius and their ability on the field, so they get valued a lot higher than these guys that we're talking about. But I think it's shifting more that the league, that teams are looking for these dynamic kind of guys that maybe they might not have the surest hands, but they can make a move when they have the ball and take it up the field.
But
that's all that really matters.
That's the thing. Jamar Chase and Tyreek Hill, it's not like they're not good route runners. It's not like we're talking about John Ross. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a guy that just strictly speed. We're talking about guys who are speed and they can run crisp route. So why don't they get the value?
Because there's a lot of receivers like that. There's not a lot of like true, like sure hands, big target. Like those guys don't come around. Like Mike Evans, he's one like those guys. Just there's not a lot of them. There's only like 3, 4 every like generation of like huge big targets that no matter what, double coverage, triple coverage. I mean, we used to watch Calvin Johnson catch balls over 3 dudes. Like those guys.
I mean, we watched D-Hop do it last season over 3 guys too. That's like crazy. It is. It's mesmerizing seeing it.
All right. Yeah.
I mean, there's DK. We got
exactly
DK.
DK.
But his hands is sus.
Yeah, sus. So we can't really talk. Yeah,
his hands kind of sus. I just reneged on that.
Yeah.
I thought about that. Like, he got some sus hands. But
that's why they don't get that much respect because there's a decent amount. Like Justin Jefferson falls in that category. Tyreek, Jamar Chase. Like there's a decent amount of receivers that fall.
I think Justin Jefferson can fall in that class with Devontae because I see a lot of Devontae Adams and Justin Jefferson. You know what I'm saying? I feel like if they needed him to be that possession guy, he could be that guy. You know, how they use Devontae Adams in short space. I feel like they could be that guy. But I don't think the Minnesota's not creative enough to use him that way. You know, he's got to make some circus catch, or he catching it over the middle. Hopefully, he don't get blown up, and he got to make a move and go.
But these guys, and the thing about these guys, they can also go make catches over people. I've seen Tyreek jump over people before.
It don't happen much.
It don't happen much, but like
you can't throw a fade inside the 5 yard.
Well, also you got to think about you got to think about the way they scheme their offense for their personnel that they have. They're not going to put Tyreek in a jump ball situation. They're going to use it to his physical abilities to showcase that. But I think there's 2 classes, right? You've got the freaks, like the speed guys that may not have the surest hands. And then you have those like jack of all trades receivers, and then you have like those guys that are like the D-Hops and Devontae. So it's like there's a couple different classes,
I also like AJ Brown. I think he's actually next year. I think he really blows up
so basically, y'all just want these guys 6'2", 6'3", and above. That's basically.
Yeah, I like that because if we got 3 yards, I can throw a fade.
Yeah, why not?
But then again, you get them special.
The bigger,
ones.
the better.
You get them special ones. Like for years, you know who my go-to man was? D. Smith. You get them special dogs. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like Larry Fitz. He was special.
They ain't the biggest guys, but they can go get it.
Hey, Fitz will drop a shoulder on you. You know what I'm saying? Like Fitz will drop that shoulder, like. And I've seen Fitz. That's what I'm saying. Like Fitz had maybe the surest hands. He could probably go down as the surest hands ever.
Terrible. Definitely. Yeah.
And the thing is, like, he wasn't the fastest guy. You know what I'm saying? But he had something you can't teach. Like he had, I don't know. It was weird. Like he would be in that freaks kind of. He'd be in between the freaks and like the DeAndre Hopkins one.
All right, for sure. All right, let's talk about Joe Burrow, right? Let's say if he wins this one. And we talked many times about that gauntlet that he got to go through as far as the AFC, where, you got Josh Allen, Pat Mahomes, you're going to have Lamar, you're going to have a lot of guys, you're going to have Herbert. You have a lot of guys that you're going to have to go through to get back. So let's say Joe Burrow wins this year. Do you think this one Super Bowl can carry him for the rest of his career? Like a Joe Flacco?
Yes, because I think he can carry it better. So Joe Flacco really didn't carry it that well. Like he carried it for a season and a half and lost that. So yeah, Joe's young. So if he wins this one, he gets him far, like 3-4 times to the championship game, but never wins another one. As long as he racks up stats and he stays, somewhat swaggy and cool, like he'll be fine. He'll be maybe not first ballot if he doesn't win another one, but he'll be considered as one of the greats, like of this era. He'll make it in the Hall as long as he keeps his stats up and stays healthy.
What about you, Carol?
Yeah, I feel the same way because like with Flacco and like Nick Foles, they've left a bad taste in everyone's mouth. The last product we've seen of Foles and Flacco, like It's like, dude, just hang it up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like Stafford, I feel like not Stafford, excuse me. If Burrow, because he's so young, he's got all his young pieces with him, I feel like they can stay competitive. He gets one now. It actually be better if he got one now early and got out of the way. So it's not something that could be a story of like, oh, what never came of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He had all this talent and never got one. So if it was like me, I'd want to get out the way now. Because now it's like, all right, let's try and stack these things up. If not, I bring the city something that they haven't had in decades, you know, because he'll be immortalized there.
Oh yeah,
he'll be immortalized.
Carson Palmer who?
Yeah, they wouldn't be thinking
Burrow.
about nobody. Yeah, he'd be immortalized there. He can't go nowhere without people opening doors for him, giving him free stuff. Like,
yes, Mister.
Yeah. I'm like definitely in agreement with y'all. It's to me, what it is like let's go back to like a decade ago of them quarterbacks. It'll basically be Big Ben, basically. I mean, yeah, Ben got 2, but it'll basically be Big Ben. It's like, all right, I got the Super Bowl. I was in competition with the greatest top 3. Would you say where you say Peyton at? Like 3rd all time?
All time now. He's I don't know, he's top 5.
All right, so I was
who are you putting in front of Peyton Manning then?
Yeah, that's really tough. Actually,
Yeah, because I'm trying to think about it. I mean, Tom's top 2 and he not 2. So it's like
Tom definitely goaded. But yeah, for him, it's like I was in
Montana.
competition with 2 top 3 quarterbacks of all time, and I just couldn't get over the hump but twice, and that's still good enough. He made the Super Bowl 3 times, 1, 2.
Yeah.
So
Big Ben is valid. Like his legacy is cemented. Say what you want. He got
saying,
2 rings and racked up the stats. Like he
definitely. But that's what I'm saying. Joe Burrow basically, I feel like that's who Joe Burrow career be if he never wins again. As long as he continue racking up the numbers, he's still that guy. He won one, but he was just in competition with Pat Mahomes.
Okay. So let me spin this for you real quick,
All
right? And y'all answer this, right? Since you're talking about if you won one and then you never win again. What do you think happens to Pat Mahomes if he never wins a championship again?
Aaron Rodgers.
Ooh,
we look at Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, seriously. That's actually a really good comparison. I like that a lot. Because that's like what has plagued Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, he's been the best player in the league 3 times, most MVP, but he can never get over NFC championship games. I mean, he's lost championship games to teams he should beat. And that's the crazy. And it's to like weird stuff like a block punt, like what? So yeah.
And it's crazy because like in football, is you never see the same team doing the same stuff. And I feel like we got so accustomed, like, all right, it's gonna be the Chiefs in the playoffs against whoever comes to the NFC. The Chiefs are gonna go to the Super Bowl every year, right? And that never happens. I feel like they had their moment. I feel like there's a good chance that they never get back there. Possibly.
I don't know.
I'm not saying get back to the Super Bowl. I'm saying there's a chance that they don't win one again. That's always a possibility. It's the NFL.
Possibility.
It's 53 on 53. And it's not like NBA where it's who has the better players against the other team that could shift the series. But football, it's like a lot of more variables that go into winning one.
The Chiefs window, I would say, is the next 2 to 3 years. That's their window. After that, I feel like if they don't make the Super Bowl, they don't win a Super Bowl after that, that's when they get tough because Kelsey is like 30, about to be or 31, somewhere around that.
Kelsey, like 31, 32.
Yeah, Kelsey up in age. Tyreek, I don't want to say
Tyreek's
this, but
like
eventually
27.
he's going to slow down.
Yeah, no. How long can you run that fast?
Like,
I mean, Usain Bolt still give you the business to this day, so it's like I don't know.
Like the Bills constantly are getting better. The Ravens, I feel like Lamar just waiting to take that step. The Bengals are showing you this year that all they got to do is focus on that line and get like a couple more pieces on defense. The Chargers, they're not going anywhere anytime soon.
So what you're saying is Pat's already cemented his legacy, basically. If he never wins one again, y'all think?
Yeah.
Because look at Rodgers, right? Rodgers won one. Yeah. And he's put up great seasons after great seasons, but he can't get there. But his legacy is cemented or whatever like that. We talking about
it is.
Like he's on Mount Rushmore of quarterbacks. So I mean,
have you seen him play?
The problem,
have you seen Pat Mahomes play? So it's like, yeah, I can see him. If he doesn't win one again, his legacy could be cemented.
The problem is Pat. Pat will one day he'll be a first ballot Hall of Famer. Pat, I feel like he'll break a lot of records along the way, but the people that we're comparing Pat to from the early ages are not the same people we're comparing these other people to. We're not comparing Josh Allen to Peyton and Brady and them guys. Not yet, at least.
Yeah.
Like the people that we're comparing
Not
Pat
ever.
to right now. That's where the problem is coming in at. Where if Pat don't win, I'm sorry, but it's the truth. It's the truth. Like Josh Allen is coming on. He's getting better every year.
No, I just like to sneak this. Like
it's not a sneak this.
You heard me? I was like, not ever.
No, I heard him.
Nah, but definitely
You
like
think
that's the only problem with Pat. Pat don't got a choice but to go win Super Bowls. Every
So
year
with that-
we come in,
with-
we're expecting
With that
Pat to win the
said,
Super Bowl.
do you think that's put a lot of pressure on the expectations of the team year in and year out that they expect the Super Bowl? The fan base does, because this guy's being compared to the Elways, the Montanas, the Bradys, the greatest of all time at such a early age.
Yes. Have you seen Andy Reid? Have you seen what that man looks like right now?
Let me ask
see
you
what
this,
that
right?
stress is doing to him.
Let me ask you this: what MVP meant more, Lamar's MVP or Pat?
I think Lamar's, because he got one
Yeah.
while Pat was at the top of his game.
Yeah, and that's what you kind of hold his career on right now. Right?
I don't agree.
Like it's kind of like when LeBron was on that run of MVPs and they dished one to who was it? They gave a freebie to like Tony Parker or Tim Duncan, somebody, and it was kind of like, damn, you must have been really balling to get one from him.
Yeah.
This dude's been winning them back to back.
To me, I don't agree, because Lamar hadn't won a championship yet. Pat won the championship and the MVP already. Lamar had a great season.
Oh, I thought you meant which MVP for that particular player. Like it meant more too. I said it meant more to Lamar because he got one.
No, I'm saying who do it mean more in like the history of the NFL type thing? It's Pat. Because what I'm saying this is Pat don't won a Super Bowl. He don't won an MVP already. So the category that he's going into is a different category than Lamar is going into. The category Lamar is going into is he had one of the great seasons, and that was it. That was great. The conversation that Pat goes into is a conversation with Aaron Rodgers, with the Bradys.
I see your point now. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yep.
I see what you're saying.
The Super Bowl puts you in that category anyway. So like,
yeah. So when it's like that, I'm telling you,
you putting Nick Foles in that category then?
You said what?
I said, are you putting Nick Foles in that category then?
All right, there. My theory has been busted.
So, to me, if Pat never wins another one, it will be a shame. I feel like it's a curse. I feel like a curse might be on Joe Burrow too. It's like it's not like a curse in a bad way, but it's just the expectations are going to be higher when you win a Super Bowl so early in your career. And for Pat, you win the MVP too.
I don't know. This is literally what Lamar, like all Lamar fans are holding on to, is this MVP season. Like, no. So like, I feel like if he racks up another MVP and wins a Super Bowl, then yeah, I think you're right. But if he never does anything after this, like doesn't do anything, like it obviously
Pat
means
or
more to
Lamar?
Lamar. What?
Oh, Pat. Are you talking about Lamar?
Yeah, Lamar.
Yeah, it'd be like one of those anomaly seasons. Like, dude,
so like it means a lot.
We needed somebody else to win. Yeah. I feel you. I mean, Lamar's great in his own right, you know. But at this point, and especially after this season, I think for losing the Super Bowl last year the way they did, and then not even getting back to there this year, I think Super Bowls matter more to Pat than MVP at this point. It's got to.
Facts. There's nowhere else he can go to. So Pat,
he's gonna be there for the next 9-10 years of his life. Like,
and then a contract on top of that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, Pat's good. He's got his money. He's got his ring. Like, the MVP really doesn't mean much to him.
How many? Wait. So on this topic, how many Super Bowls do you think Pat needs to win for his legacy not to be Aaron Rodgers? Like, you think just one more would suffice, or you think he got to win?
Maybe like
I'm
three.
thinking the same thing.
I think three.
Yeah.
About three. Because now that I'm thinking about it and we get more into it, like the pedestal and the expectations we have for this man, you know, after just winning a Super Bowl and an MVP. I mean, don't get it wrong. His arm talent and all the crazy things that he does, he kind of elevates that, you know. But yeah, it's going to be like three because like Aaron Rodgers, I'm content with Aaron Rodgers having his one and being within his own greatness. Like, cool. I mean, he's one of the greatest of all time. But it's like Pat, it's like, yeah, Rodgers is one of the greatest of all time, but Pat could possibly be like with that whole Brady, Peyton Manning kind of gang. Because I don't put Rodgers up there with Manning and Brady due to I mean, individual wise, yes, but as far as like what he bring to his organization, I can't put him up there with them. But like Pat's every year, he's being referred to and being compared to these guys. So yeah, it's gonna take about 3 of them things.
Facts, because that's like, so another guy that probably would be in that category. Like, I don't even think it'd be Aaron Rodgers. Matter of fact, Pat Mahomes would be Drew Brees. Pat Mahomes would be a guy that won one Super Bowl. I feel like he'd be up there as far as passing yards and all them stats. But
that's a good comp. That's a good comp because Drew Brees
we'll never be able to look at him.
Slinger.
Yeah, we'll never be able to look at him like a Brady or even a Peyton.
That's what I'm saying. It's going to take like 3 or 4 of them because he's not catching Brady. Nobody's doing what he did. The run, he'd have to go on a serious run. You know what I'm saying? Like a serious run, like something like we've never seen before. But if he gets about 3, maybe even 4, racks up like 5 MVPs, like then yeah.
5 MVPs.
Because there are gonna be seasons when he's not gonna make it. And he wins MVP like Rodgers. If we're comparing him to Rodgers, Rodgers went back to back and lost in the divisional. I mean lost in the divisional game this year and still got the MVP.
Yeah, but Brady and Rodgers only have 3. You're saying Pat's getting 5? Like, gee, that's pretty like.
That's not outlandish. That's not outlandish for somebody like him.
I think it is.
That's not out of the realm of possibility for somebody like Pat Mahomes.
4, maybe 5.
So what's the difference between one more? I thought you was gonna say like maybe 3, but 4 to 5. He could luck into 1.
Because all right, truthfully, the MVP has become a quarterback award.
Yeah.
Right. Josh Allen gonna take a couple. I feel like eventually. I feel like they're gonna throw. Maybe. I feel like eventually they're gonna throw him some respect.
Maybe
Kyler might get over the hump eventually.
Nah, no, don't even do
that.
I'm not gonna do that.
Y'all,
I'm not gonna get my hopes up.
You're talking as a scarred fan, but
I'm not scarred, bro. I'm singed.
Yeah, that hurts.
I feel. You ever heard of the dude Seal? His face looks like somebody set it on fire. That's how I feel internally. I feel like I was ripped apart and put back together by somebody blind. That's how this feels. You know what I'm saying?
All right, so we're gonna take Kyler out, but I feel like maybe
Herbert could sneak one. Herbert
probably sneak one eventually.
Burrow.
Joey B with his clout.
Burrow.
Yeah, he could probably take one.
But Pat got to like every year we go in. Pat will probably be.
I'm trying to see if y'all was listening.
Yeah, Tua.
I hear, bro. I don't know. I think Pat will probably win. Maybe I think he can win 3, maybe 4 MVPs before his time is up.
5 is nuts.
Huh?
So 5 is crazy.
5 is not insane. It's not insane. Like,
I'm sorry.
Quiet shit crazy.
Yo, he throws it over at least 4,000 yards every year. Like, it's not like.
But there's so many quarterbacks that do that.
But now that's what I'm saying. That's the problem.
Yeah, like
4,000 yards for somebody is the greatest season they've ever had in their life. Like, oh man, he must have been juicing that year for him to throw for 4,000 yards. That's like the bare minimum for Pat. Like he only threw for 4,000. That's it. You know what I'm saying?
Like, yo, he throws for that amount of yards almost every year, like over 4,000 every year.
We give Pat Mahomes LeBron treatment. You know what I'm saying? If LeBron doesn't make it to the finals every year, it was a bust for him. Oh, he had a trash season. They didn't go to the finals.
Right.
And then,
you know what I'm saying? Like we give him that same treatment.
Let's be truthful. He could have been in MVP conversation if them early games where all them wide receivers were dropping balls and all that didn't happen. He could have easily been in the conversation this year.
So, yeah, well, that's like you could say that about a lot of quarterbacks. Like,
no, you can't. You can't.
Yeah, if the season was 7, like I said, if the season was 7 games, Kyler Murray would have won it.
Kyler would win every year.
Yeah, he'd win it every year. There's no way. There's nobody hotter the first 7 games than Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
All right. So, let's get back to the Super Bowl. I want to know who y'all think will win, and let's get scores.
So I got the Rams.
Oh, go ahead, Howard.
I got the Rams. I think it's going to be a fun game. I think it'll be a decent Super Bowl. Not the best. I'm really excited for the halftime. Not gonna lie, like I'm pretty stoked.
That's gonna be dope.
Yeah, I know.
That's
like
dope.
we haven't talked about it.
They've ever done.
The halftime's be crazy. So that might make this Super Bowl more memorable because of that performance. But I'm gonna go Rams 34-27. I think we get Matt Stafford a little 4-minute drive, get down there, score at the 5 left, and then Joe Burrow just can't get it done. I'm gonna say he throws a pick.
What about you?
That's how I see it.
I have it Bengals winning, and for one reason, I think that it doesn't have to come down to Joe Burrow not getting it done because you forgot who was coming off the sidelines to kick them field goals. My boy Ice Trey McPherson gonna ice it. You know what I'm saying? He gonna get iced by McVay because he think he's sneaky. McPherson gonna nail that from the center and win 34-31. I have it being close. Because I've been riding the hot hand the whole playoffs. So I'm gonna just keep riding the hot hand. I like the level of intensity and the aggressiveness this team brings, and I like the effort mentality that they have. I think the only person that's gonna be under a lot of pressure will be Burrow, because he's the quarterback. I think everybody else is gonna be like, fuck it, we ain't supposed to be here. Let's just throw it all out there. You know what I'm saying?
You don't think the corners are under a little pressure?
So
I mean, yeah, they're gonna have a field day with him. Like I said, the game will be decided at the line. In that game against Tampa Bay with the Rams, what started changing things, they started getting Matt Stafford under pressure. You know, they stopped the run. They had Cam Akers getting the ball ripped out of his arms. And that's what they did against Kansas City. And I said before we talked about the Kansas City game that it'll come down to the offensive line and who made adjustments. So I think the Rams look extremely strong going into the first half. I think the Cincinnati come out and make it some. If we talk about Cinderella stories, they might as well come out and do some magical shit, right? So I got Cincinnati
I'm
34-31.
As much as I want, like it's not a want, but I would like to see the Rams win, so a lot of them guys can get rings. The Ramses, the Donalds, the OBJs.
I could care less about any of that.
But
I can't let McVay get one. I can't let McVay get one.
Look, I feel like that's how this game is going to end. With Matthew Stafford throwing a dumb pick, and the Bengals will win 28-24.
So we going to Disneyland with Bengals jerseys.
Huh?
I said we going to Disneyland with Bengals jerseys.
Hey, you already know.
I'm not doubting against Aaron Donald. I'm sorry. Like this dude, after the last game, I'm not betting against him. I like Stafford too. I think he deserves this, and I think God's looking after him.
Do you really think that the Rams should be here?
Yeah.
Even after
you see their team,
that pick at the end of the game.
Yeah, have you seen their team? Like they assembled probably. Honestly, on paper, they have the best team, and they have a pretty good coach. Like at the end, Jalen Ramsey should have caught a pick too, but we don't talk about like.
I mean, they're one hero ball away from not even being there.
Yeah,
because if that game in Tampa Bay went to OT and Tom would have got the ball back, it's over. It's over.
Okay, well,
it's over. Nothing to talk about. It would be over.
One collapse of the Kansas City Chiefs away from not being here. Like they were up 21-3.
Okay,
like,
so with that being said, I think they're gonna go. I think the Rams are gonna go up in the first half. I think they're gonna go up like. I think they'll go up like 10 to freaking. Oh, I think that'll be a halftime.
Who do y'all think the NFL wants to win?
They want the Rams.
That's the question.
They want the Rams.
And why?
Because they're at home. And do you see that stadium? You see how much money they made? Is that enough?
They put 5 B's with $1 billion, $5 billion in that stadium.
You got the best. You got the best defensive player playing for it. You got Matthew Stafford, who was a number 1 overall pick that had never even been anywhere close to this. He only won 1 playoff game before this year?
Yeah. You got OBJ.
But there's one other variable you're not talking about. There's a potential face of the NFL wearing orange and black on the other side.
They already made that Pat Mahomes. They're not going to.
Yeah, but if Pat Mahomes is stumbling, you know how quick that changes.
It don't matter.
They try to give it to Aaron Rodgers for a little bit. And, he's just kind of an a-hole. And they just was riding, Tom Brady. And then Pat Mahomes came out of nowhere, just like Burrow. Just how Burrow's coming out of nowhere. It's the same thing Pat did, too. It's the same timeline he was on. Second year in the league, Pat got a ring, right?
Hey, can y'all just make me a promise?
Mm-hmm.
If Joe Burrow wins this, can y'all not make a big bid for him in fantasy? I done had him both these years, and I want him back next year.
There's a couple quarterbacks I'm taking above him. So
yeah, I'm taking a different approach this year.
Yeah.
I'm taking steady Eddie. Like we arguing about Kirk and Stafford. Kirk and Stafford get you 20 a week. I ain't doing this boomer bust. I'm not doing this boomer bust stuff like I did this year with this Sam Darnold crap. I look like a genius them first 3 weeks with Sam Darnold.
Yeah,
I look like a genius. I had Dwyer about to come up off Devontae for Sam and Wall, and I said no, like an idiot.
Yo, I just want my man Joe Burrow back. I had him every single year so far, and I want him back. All right, final question: who wins the Super Bowl MVP?
Stafford. Either
If
it's gonna
like,
be Stafford or Darnold. It's one of those two.
Yeah, if it's a high scoring game and the Rams win, it'll definitely go to Stafford. If it's a low scoring game and the Rams win, and Darnold is who he is, Darnold, yeah, I think he wins. But I mean, it's been like going on 10 years since a non QB won it. So regardless of what, especially if the Bengals win on some heroic drive, they're going to give it to Burrow because that's what they're going to want. I mean, that year the Chiefs won, they could have easily gave it to Darrell Williams, but they gave it to Pat.
Yeah, they should have actually.
Yeah, I mean the dude. But I mean, and if the Niners would have won, they should have gave it to Mostert, but they would have gave it to Garoppolo. But
that's why they didn't win.
Jimmy Garoppolo.
I think it'll go to Joe. But I think the biggest X factor for this game will be Joe Mixon.
Who?
Will be Mixon.
Oh, I thought you said something else.
Yeah, so it has.
What you thought I said?
I don't know. I thought you said something else. I don't know what you said.
I think Mixon will be the biggest X factor for this game.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're going to have to get it. I think he's going to have to get going early in order for the Bengals to win.
I think the biggest X factor of this game is that boy Ice Trey McPherson for one reason only, right? I think that they respect the Rams defense a lot in this game, and they take more of a conservative approach as where they get the points when they can get them. So if it's like 4th and 3 and they're in field goal range, they take the field goal. They take the 3 points. Because I don't think the Bengals can go 3 and outs and 4 and outs and not get points and still go shot for shot with the Rams down the line. They have the offensive personnel to do it. I don't think the defense can hold up and keep that score where it's at with how the Rams defense has been picking people apart. So I think McPherson being able to get them those 3 points every drive, it'll add up. You get 3 points every other drive or like that adds up. And then you look at the game, if you're down, you're only down by a field goal. So I think that'll be one of the X factors because we already know what the offensive players are going to do. They're going to do their thing or like that. So I'm trying to take a different spiel on it for the listeners that McPherson might actually play a big role in this outside of kicking game-winning field goals.
All right. You got any final thoughts on this game?
I think Andrew Whitworth will
retire after a Super Bowl ring. No, yeah, probably. Yeah, I just think it's a feel-good story. I think OBJ will be out there going crazy, realizing he's gonna make a lot more money wherever he goes next. Like,
it's a good one.
Yeah, like it's gonna be nice.
All right, well, I guess that wraps up our Super Bowl show. Thank all the listeners. Thank you to the YouTube subscribers, to all our followers we got. And we appreciate everyone. Signing off, saying Inbounds, the sports podcast of the people. I'm your host, Kari P. Signing off for K-Wall and Howard. Hey, y'all have a good night, man.
See you, bro.
See y'all.